Guys, it's been a really jam-packed episode. We've had arguments, we've had bushtucker trials, we've had luxury items being lost, we've had a lot of crying, mostly from Jamie Lynn, and it is all kicking off, and it's only day 3, guys. What is going on? So it's probably worth starting with the fact that it was raining all night. All night. Now, I know what it's like to have it rain when I'm lying in my bed and I'm hearing the rain outside. I'm like, oh, it's going to be raining all night. But they are living in the camp. They are outside. There is nothing protecting their heads from rain, which is crazy. I don't know whether I could sleep out in the rain. I feel like that would be where I'd have to draw the line. I'd be like, I'm soaked through. Surely they must have some kind of canopy. Surely. But anyway, it seems like everyone was kind of talking about the same thing. There were some funny quotes. Fred said a French phrase that was something like, it's been raining like cows are pissing, or something like that. A very odd phrase, but I think it makes more sense in French than it does in English, I guess. Grace said that it felt like day 11 of Glastonbury, but instead of going to go see Coldplay, she's... Oh, I can't remember the end of the quote, but she made some kind of joke. Grace is actually quite entertaining in her confessionals. She does nothing, or we don't see anything from her the rest of the time, but in her sort of like in the what's it called? Like their confessionals, the confessional booth. I don't know what it's actually called on the show, but whenever she goes in there, very entertaining. She is very, very funny. And also Josie was talking about how she could look proper crusty if she wanted to do with like sort of the fact that she's not wearing makeup as often. She also said that she has presented this morning twice whilst being hungover, which, I mean, I feel like everyone's done it at least once on this morning. I mean, Alison definitely has. Philip and Holly definitely did back in the day. They turned up having not slept. So I feel like you can get away with being hungover, my lovely. It's time to talk about the incident, because I feel really disappointed in Nella Rose, because first episode she received a lot of hate online. Second episode she received more hate online. And both episodes I was firmly behind her, because I was like, she's entertaining, she's funny, she's delivering some drama, but she's not being nasty or she's not doing anything wrong. But then this episode rolls around and she is just being quite spiteful to Fred. And it's difficult because I can understand why she's upset. I understand. However, I feel like she wasn't listening to the conversation, and so she just got the wrong end of the stick. The conversation was essentially talking about the difference in age, and Fred was saying he was old because he's 51, which isn't old, but Fred was saying he was old. And Nella was like, listen, you're not old, you're not old. And then he was like, but you're 26. And then he said, I'm old enough to be your dad, which is a fairly common thing to say when you're trying to describe your own age, I guess. Like, I've heard that being used all the time, and I feel like it was blown massively out of proportion because Nella was pissed off with that comment and upset, didn't tell Fred about it at the time, and then refused to eat any of his food, went to sleep, woke up, and then refuses his food again, and then is like being really off with him, and like he's trying to get her attention and she's ignoring him and like walking away from him. And I just think it's childish behavior at the end of the day. You're in a camp with these people, you got to find a way to make it work. But equally, you could have, if you had a problem, if you have that much of a problem, talk to him. You could have pulled him up on his comment right there if you were in the conversation, like you were in the conversation with him. Could have pulled him up right there and then. But no, you decided to wait until morning, and then you made a fat deal out of it, when it wasn't even necessary. Now, I understand why she was upset. Her parents have sadly passed away, and so it it came across to Nella as if he was like, "Oh, I could be your dad." But that's not how he meant it or how he said it. He said, "I'm old enough to be your dad, like I could be your dad," talking about his age, not in general, because why would he say that? That's such a weird thing to say. But the context that we saw was different to how Nella was trying to spin it. It just it rubbed me up the wrong way because he was trying to apologize, but he was also sort of like, I don't really get what I've said and how what I've said is wrong, but like I'm sorry that I've made you feel this way. And she's just shutting him down and making him feel quite small and calling him a weirdo. And I feel like this was a miscalculated move on Nella's part because the majority of the public are now against her completely. You had the people who were entertained by her and supporting her now being like, "Oh, she's not actually a very nice person," because Fred is a bit of a national treasure. It's almost as if you stuck, I don't know, Claudia Winkleman in the jungle. She's a national treasure. And then you started having to go at her. It's like, no, you don't do that. And like, it's crazy to me how currently, like, from this episode, I'm disliking her more than I'm disliking Nigel. And like, I dislike Nigel. I think he's a bit of a dickhead. And like, he made a few comments such as the "I want to be voted for trials so I can get my 25% screen time." That was weird. But like, Nella was just spiteful in that moment and it was nasty, and she's refusing to eat his food. If I was in that situation, I'd be like, "Fine, starve. I don't care. It's not my situation to be in. Like, you're the one that's refusing food, not me. I'm not refusing to give you food. I'm very much have my food, but you starving yourself does not affect me. I'm sorry. If the rest of the camp want me to cook, I'm gonna cook. If you don't want to eat my food, not much I can do about that. I'm really, really sorry." And yeah, it's just it was really disappointing to watch because 15 minutes into the episode and she's now my least favorite campmate. That's impressive to go from one of my faves to one of my least faves. It's got to be studied. It's got to be studied how far she fell so quickly. Now, I would really, really love to talk about the Bush Tucker trial because it was one of the trials I was looking forward to. It's the one where it's themed, there's loads of interesting different rooms. They had some actually really cool things that they did to mix things up as well. So I gotta say, this was a really, really cool trial. And I feel like if anybody else, maybe not Jamie Lynn, had attempted this trial, they'd have done well. They'd have really done well. Nella got down there. The first room was like a laser crawl space, and she had to like move stars along using a magnet on her wrist, and she kept breaking the laser. Admittedly, it did look quite difficult. There wasn't a lot of room to maneuver, and it did look difficult. So like that was very entertaining. And then she went into the spider crawl place, and then she managed to get the star out of there whilst getting electric shocks, which was another thing I was like, damn, they're giving her electric shocks. That's crazy. And then she started to freak out and she missed. She raced past two stars, and then she said, "I'm a celebrity, get me out of here." And crazily enough, I'm fairly certain, I've done my research, I know I forgot to put it in the last episode, but I'm pretty sure the last person to say "I'm a celebrity, get me out of here" was Anne Hegarty in 2018. I could be wrong, but that means it's been 5 years since a celebrity has said that. I can't think of another time since where someone has said it, so I'm assuming that my research is correct, but also I could be very wrong. But I just and I understand why she did it. She was freaking out. She wasn't having a good time, and once you get in that headspace, it's very difficult to get out of. But I don't think this was a particularly hard trial. And I feel like the bit I would have struggled with was the spiders. But once I got through that, the next bit was green ants. I could have done green ants. Yeah, they're going to sting you. They're going to bite. Yeah. But, like, I'm winning food for camp. And, yeah, it was a bit of a disappointing effort. I really, really, really hope that they bring this trial back. Because they often, if someone says, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here, they usually bring it back with, like, a remixed version. So that, like, it doesn't go to waste. But, like, I don't know whether they will or not. It depends, I guess. There was a really, really sweet chat about significant others with Sam, Marvin, Danielle, and Nick. And I thought it was just a really, really nice moment between the four of them. It seems like they're a little, like, not a group, but like they hang out together, so that was quite cool. Sam spoke about Zara and how he met Zara, how he sort of went on a first date with her. Marvin told us about how he got Rochelle, saying that he nicked her phone while she was in the toilet, called himself so that he had her number, and then pestered her for 3 months until they went on a date. And when they did, it was to a Mackey's car park in Wembley. So it was actually really, really lovely to sort of hear that story. Nick it wasn't Nick, it was Fred. Oh, it was Fred. I'm a numpty. Oh, my bad. Fred spoke about how he met his fiance, I guess, if they're getting married next year. 9 years ago, and that was really sweet. Don't remember hearing anything from Danielle, but she was just there being like, oh, this is so cute. This is so cute. Oh my God. So yeah, that was quite a nice conversation. Gotta say, I did not know this, but this man, Nigel Farage, has survived a car crash and a plane crash. This man was flying Brexit banners, crashed his plane, broke nearly every bone in his body, his neck, everything, and still survived and even checked out of the hospital early. Huh? What? That's crazy. What do you mean you crashed your plane and you're still okay? This all came from, like, he was doing some weightlifting with logs to sort of keep his movement up. But, like, I was not expecting that, and I feel like that was kept really quiet, because surely I would have heard about Nigel Farage, one of the biggest MPs in the UK at the time of Brexit, I guess. It being in a plane crash and nearly dying. Surely I would have heard of that. How did I not hear about that? That's crazy. I genuinely cannot believe that has only just come to my attention. A car crash and a plane crash. This man is unkillable. He's like the fucking Terminator, I swear to God. Jamie was crying again. I don't have a problem with her crying. What I have a problem with is the fact that she has clearly not done her homework. She has clearly not realised that she is going to be away from her family for this long, because everybody else in the camp seems to be very much cheerful. Like, I know it's day 3 as well. Like, day 3, I don't know when you last saw your kids, okay? I don't. They might be in Australia with you, so you might have seen them very recently. I don't know. They might be back in the States. I do not know. But what I do know is, were you not mentally prepared for this? Was this not something that come across your radar when you were picking up jobs for like reality TV? Like Dancing with the Stars, yeah, you get to see your kids. But I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here in Australia. Did you really not, like, put 2 and 2 together and be like, maybe I'm going to miss my kids? No, it frustrates me, because there are so many other people in that camp with children who are either crying privately or are just not crying about it yet. If this was a week in, 2 weeks in, fair enough, I can get behind it. But this is literally the 3rd day. The 3rd day. Numero tres. Tres dias. Oh, it is tough because whenever she cries, I do feel sorry for her. And then I'm reminded that I haven't been watching this for weeks and weeks. Like usually when people are crying, I feel bad for them because I'm like, oh, it has been like a week. It has been 2 weeks. Oh, they're so close to the end. They're so excited to see their friends. So she was kind of like, I want my luxury item because it's a photo of my children, and I was like, oh, that's sweet. And then Danielle, Sam, Marvin, and Grace went out to go win the luxury prizes, and I gotta say, yeah, this didn't go very well. I don't know what the producers were thinking by doing this trial because this was. I think I would have really struggled with this. I've like the idea was they were all on trapdoors, these boxes, right? And the campmates had to put oars through, like one each, lift the box up before the trapdoor went, and then place it back down, and then it would go green. Out of 10 possible boxes, they managed to get 4 because they just kept fumbling the bag every time, and then they would throw creepy crawlies which would throw them off even more, which was just crazy. The people they managed to get were Nick, Nella Rose, Josie, and Danielle. So unfortunately, Jamie Lynn didn't get her picture. And then when they came back and told them what had happened, Jamie Lynn was like, I can't believe that they made you guys do that. They made y'all do that. That's so cruel. That's so cruel. I was like, I genuinely don't think you've ever seen I'm a Celebrity because I think every other person in that jungle knows what to expect from this show. They know exactly what to expect. They know, oh, trial. There's going to be bugs. There's going to be horrible things. There's going to be a twist somewhere because they've seen the show. If you're going on a reality show, do your homework because this is how you end up in this situation where you're threatening to quit because other people have had to do a trial. Like, what? I really don't get it. I honestly don't get it. I don't get her angle. I don't get her motivation right now. So I'm really struggling. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. The luxury items that they got were some of them were rubbish. Nella Rose got some lip gloss. I was like, why do you need lip gloss in the jungle? Like, lip balm, yeah, fair enough. But lip gloss? Jesus Christ. Josie got a pillow with her son's face on it. That was really, really cute. Nick also got a orange pillow, not with anyone on it. And Danielle was really unhappy to find out that they'd gotten hers because she was like, "Oh, it's gonna look a bit shit." Because I asked for a pineapple lilo for the creek so that we could lie on it and relax, which is a very very thoughtful gift. But when Jamie Lynn hasn't got her like photo of her kids, yeah, that was tough to watch. So the last thing that I want to talk about before we move on to the public vote is going to be dinner time, and they got crocodile feet, which yeah, that didn't go down very well. I gotta say, I think Jamie Lynn opted to have some rice. Nella Rose refused to eat because Fred was cooking, and apart from that, I think everybody else ate it. I don't remember hearing anyone talk about how it tasted or what it was like. So like I'm guessing it was okay. I can't remember. The thing is they dish out the same shit every year to each of the campmates. And I always forget how crocodile feet went down with people. Like I gotta say, it probably wasn't the most nutritious meal because they only got 3 out of 10 stars. But it is what it is. It was alright. I still can't believe that Nella Rose is refusing to eat anything. Like, has she eaten anything all day? Like, I actually don't know. I'm getting a bit concerned. Are they gonna have to step in and be like, "Yo, you got to eat. You have to eat," or are they just gonna let her starve? Surely they won't let her starve. That would be cruel. And the public vote is in, and Jamie Lynn Spears is taking on Climb of Cruelty. Was that what it was? Climb of Cruelty? I can't remember. But I gotta say, this looks like an easy challenge, and I know I say that sitting on my sofa, not really doing much, but I gotta say, it looks like it's just climbing a scaffold, which I feel like I would be able to do. I feel like I might have struggled with No Time to Cry, probably would have struggled with the food challenge, but I feel like I could do some climbing, because surely it can't be that bad. Like, the promo didn't make it look scary. Like, the height ones, they're never actually scary, because you're harnessed up. They're not going to let you die on national television. So, like, it's as safe as it possibly can be. And there might be some bugs along the way, yeah, but it's not going to be like you're in a confined space. If you want to get out, you can get out and, like, move on to something else. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like she's going to be all right with that one. But that is all we've got time for today. Thank you guys very, very much for checking in on the I'm a Celeb recap. Should I call it the I'm a Celeb catch-up? Does that work? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff that you guys are so good at. And I will see you guys tomorrow when we talk about Jamie Lynn taking on her second bushtucker trial. That's so crazy that so far the only people that have done bushtucker trials are Jamie, Marvin, Nick, Nella, and Nigel. It's half the camp. Okay, no, that's actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Yeah, fair enough. See you later. Bye now.